Alright, let me tell y'all a story that, to this day, still makes me stop in my tracks every time I pass a marble floor. It's the kind of story that doesn't just happen once and fade away. No, this one changed people. Changed an institution. Changed Sami. Sa. It started on what was supposed to be a big Dia celebration, really. After 20 years of grinding, building from nothing, sacrificing birthdays, vacations, sleep, I was finally about to sign the most significant deal of my life. My firm Holland Equity was preparing to move over $2.5 billion in managed assets to a new partner bank, Delridge Mutual. They'd courted us for months, rolled out the red carpet, promised innovation and equity and all that good PR fluff. And I believed him. At first. So there I was, that morning, walking into the flagship branch downtown. Sunlight flooding through floor-to-ceiling windows, the kind of place where everything's either polished steel or Italian marble. You could hear your own footsteps echo. I had on my navy pinstripe, the one my tailor in Atlanta had personally hand-stitched. Shoes shining. Briefcase in hand. I was feeling proud, hopeful even, because this deal wasn't just money, it was about opportunity, legacy, influence. Now, I had an appointment with the bank president himself, a man named Roger Altman. We'd been on Zooms before, but today was our first face-to-face. His assistant had confirmed the time 10 a.m. sharp. I'd even asked to be checked in by a specific rep at the desk, since I like consistency when I do business. And that's when Sashi Sa happened. Her name was Ellen. Ellen Yates. 61. White blouse buttoned so tight it looked like her soul was suffocating. Hair tied back in a no-nonsense bun that said, "Sa, I've seen it all and I don't like any of it." Sashi didn't look up when I approached, just kept tapping away at her keyboard like I was a nuisance to be managed. Didn't smile. Didn't acknowledge me. Just hit me with a dry, "Can I help you?" I told her who I was. "Good morning. I'm Malcolm Holland. I believe I'm on your books for 10 a.m. meeting with Mr. Altman." She glanced up, and right then, I saw it. That flicker. That saw calculation. Saw the second she took in my skin tone. Her whole posture shifted. Her expression tightened like she was bracing for something unpleasant. She gave me that once-over, the kind that thinks a suit on a black man must be rented, or fake, or stolen. She didn't see a CEO. She saw a problem. "I'll need to see identification," she said, not as a request, but as a challenge. And when I handed her my driver's license and business card, she held them like they were something contagious. Now mind you, my business card? It's not cheap. Gold lettering, thick as a coaster, designed to tell you Saw this man doesn't play. Saw, but she barely looked at it. She squinted at my license like she expected to catch me in a lie, then turned to her computer and said loud enough for folks nearby to hear, "This doesn't look right. This photo is questionable." Let me tell you, I've been in boardrooms with billionaires who respected me more than she did in that lobby. And the way she was performing? She saw an audience. She was making sure everyone nearby saw her vetting me. "You know," she added, "this address doesn't match the kind of clientele we usually get here." That was it. That was the trigger. Because what she meant without saying it was, "Saw, you don't belong here." Saw. I calmly told her again about my appointment, even mentioned Mr. Altman's assistant by name. I was giving her every chance to step back with dignity. But instead, she doubled down. "This isn't a check-cashing place, Mr. Holland," she said, like I was some con artist trying to sneak into a black tie gala. Then right there in front of a crowd growing more curious by the second, she tossed my driver's license back at me. Didn't hand it. Didn't slide it. Saw through it. Saw it landed on the marble floor like it belonged in the trash. You know what silence feels like when it's not peaceful, but tense? When even the air is holding its breath. That's what filled the lobby. I picked up my ID slowly, carefully. Not because I was hurt. Not even angry yet. But because I knew Saw, this moment matters. Saw. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Ma'am, I suggest you call Mr. Altman. Now." She scoffed. "You can schedule a proper appointment if you have legitimate business here." So I pulled out my phone. Called Roger directly. It rang twice. He answered with a chipper, "Malcolm, you in the lobby already? We're all excited to finally meet. Roger, I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. I'm here, but your rep at the desk just accused me of fraud and threw my ID on the floor. I think you might want to come downstairs. It was like all the color drained from her face at once. She reached for the desk phone, but it was too late. Within 3 minutes, the elevator dinged, and out walked Roger Altman, VP Claire Donnelly, and their client relations head, Samir Khatri, all in suits, all wide-eyed. And when Roger saw me standing there, license in hand, face calm but tired, he looked at Ellen like she'd just burned down his house. Malcolm, he said, rushing over with his hand out, I am so sorry. Please, tell me exactly what happened. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't embellish. I told him the truth. Straight. The same way I'm telling you now. You could see it on their faces. Horror. Embarrassment. A realization that they hadn't just made a mistake, they'd stepped into a PR nightmare. Claire looked like she wanted to cry. Samir just stared at Ellen like she was a ghost. Ellen, to her creditor, maybe to her flaw, tried to defend herself. He just seemed off, out of place. I was protecting the bank. Roger exploded. Out of place? This man is bringing our institution more capital than any other client in a decade. I didn't say much after that. Didn't have to. They escorted me upstairs immediately. Ellen? She was gone before the end of the hour. Suspended pending review. The lobby? Still silent. But by the next morning, oh man, it was everywhere. Some kid had filmed the whole interaction on their phone. It hit TikTok, Instagram, then local news. The hashtag The Banking While Black was trending in 12 hours. Clients started pulling money. Regulators got involved. Within days, Ellen was terminated. Her supervisor demoted. The bank stock fell 10 fan tram. I had a choice to make then. I could walk away. Take my $2.5 billion somewhere else and let them burn. But something deeper pulled at me. Because if this happened to me with a tailored suit, Fortune 500 deals under my belt, and direct lines to the top brass, then what the hell happens to people without all that? So I sat down with Roger and said, I'm not here to destroy you. But if we're going to move forward, it won't just be about money. It'll be about change. And that's what we did. Delridge Mutual created a diversity council, not a cute task force. A full department. Monthly bias training using that very video as a case study. Hiring practices revamped. Client interactions monitored. Employees rewarded for compassion, not quotas. And they didn't just say they'd change, they showed it. 6 months later, I walked into that same lobby. The marble floors were still there, but the vibe was different. I saw a young Latino rep helping an elderly Vietnamese woman fill out paperwork, translating each step with patience. No attitude. No rush. Just kindness. A few weeks after, I got a letter from a teacher in Omaha. Her students had seen the video and created a peer group to call out bias at school. She said, if Mr. Holland could transform a bank, maybe we can transform our hallway. And y'all, I cried. Because this story didn't end in that lobby. It started there. It spread. It saw something. Ellen Yates? Last I heard, she took a job at a hardware store. Told someone she used to work at a bank until some video ruined her life. I don't wish her harm. Honestly, I hope she's grown. But me? I'll keep pushing. Because dignity isn't a luxury, it's a right. And if my humiliation sparked a fire that made one institution better, imagine what we could do if we all stood up. If you've ever been made to feel small, dismissed, or out of place, I want you to know you're not the problem. They are. And you have every right to be wherever you are, to take up space, to demand respect. Let me know in the comments, have you ever been treated like you didn't belong? Do you think most institutions really want change, or just avoid PR disasters? Let's talk about it. Let's build from it. And if you're still watching, thank you. Share this with someone who needs it, someone who's been there, or someone who needs to open their eyes. Because at the end of the day, change doesn't start with a headline, it starts with a person refusing to stay silent. And that is exactly what I did.